Can we just get a win now, please? Fuck. Just a few days following a first leg defeat to Borussia Dortmund, the Blues are back in action in the Premier League to face Southampton, hoping to exact revenge from what was our second defeat of the season all the way back in August. Before we get started, as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content on the channel. Click the Linktree link in the description to get a list of all of my social media profiles in one place. Boys and girls, we're back for yet another preview. Oh, it just seems like there's no respite these days. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. It's just L after L after L. And talking of L's, a 2-1 defeat at St Mary's back in August was the last league defeats for Chelsea under Thomas Tuchel. Since then, we've played 17 times in the league, losing 5, drawing 6 and winning 6, with a goal tally of just 16 goals whilst conceding 14. Yes, you heard that right. 16 goals scored in our last 17 games. Our last 5 in the Premier League, however, we've won just 1, drawing 3 and losing 1 while scoring just 3 goals. Just 3. And with the focus following our defeat to Dortmund on Wednesday being heavily focused, again, on our XG and the lack of G to the X, a game against albeit bottom of the league once again becomes nearly impossible to predict. Well, nearly. It's going to take something ridiculous, let's be fair. It's going to take something absolutely ridiculous, something so Chelsea... so Charity FC to lose to a team that has won just 2 of their last 15 matches in the Premier League, and more specifically just 3 victories in their last 15 away from home. And whilst it would be ludicrous to underestimate any team these days to get a result against us, no less a team that beat us a few months ago, you have to believe, you have to expect, and that's the word I will use, that's the word I have been used, that's the word that has been used against me, is that I expect too much. I'm expecting too much. I'm sure there are people that are probably going to say this, but I'm expecting too much to beat bottom of the pissing league, Southampton, and yes, they beat us. But you have to believe, you have to expect, you have to demand that this team, with all of its issues, with all the excuses we throw rival fans as to why we are the way we are at the moment, you have to think that we can finally get a win for the first time in over a month in any competition against 20th place Southampton. And we thought this against West Ham, who were 17th place when we faced them. And I was expecting too much then. I was thinking too much. I was wanting too much to get a victory against them. But maybe a few places below. Is that still expecting too much for us to beat bottom of the league? I know we're not far off there, but still. Should we lose, however, it will be the first back-to-back defeats to Southampton in the league since 1993. A statistic 30 years in the making. A statistic that only Chelsea would let happen. So we can only pray up at this point. Team news: Benoit Badiashile, Noni Madueke, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and David Datro Fofana are back in contention for Chelsea, having been ineligible to face Borussia Dortmund. Potter has said that he will monitor Ben Chilwell and will make a last-minute decision on whether he features. The same goes for Raheem Sterling. Wesley Fofana, Denis Zakaria and Mateo Kovacic returns to the matchday squad in midweek after overcoming their injuries. So maybe, just maybe, we might be able to see them feature. Now, predicted 11s for this game, it can be tricky at times, but Potter has shown a pattern lately. You can expect to see Kepa in goal, of course. James, if fit, 100% fit, which he will be, will start on the right. Thiago Silva will start as well, unless he decides to rest him. We've got another game against Borussia Dortmund coming up. You never know. You never know. But I do fully expect Thiago Silva to start. Badiashile, after not featuring against Borussia Dortmund, will feature. This is the right, for me, Chilwell, if he's not fit, if he is fit, will start. But with the news surrounding Cucurella and getting, his house burgled and all that sort of stuff, I would personally go with Lewis Hall. But if we think back to Hakim Ziyech's situation with his failed move to PSG, Potter doesn't really seem to care when it comes to player mentality, where their mindset's at with current events in their life. So for that, I'm still going to go with Cucurella. I feel like he's not really going to factor in the fact that, he's just had his house broken into. So I would still fully expect to see Cucurella start. But if it was up to me, Chilwell, then Lewis Hall, but ultimately, it's going to be Cucurella, I believe. Loftus-Cheek will continue his starting performances alongside Enzo Fernandez. I see no reason to change that up. Of course, again, Joao Felix will feature. He's been instrumental, as has Enzo Fernandez, since they've both been introduced. Mikhail Mudryk, I do think could be up for debate. Mason Mount has to come back at some point in terms of, he's just... He needs to play, but does he actually need to play? People will be asking why he's not starting 3 games in a row, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets dropped again. I must be honest. If he does start, though, wouldn't be surprised. But again, I'm going Joao Felix, Mudryk, Madueke, I would like to see back on the right-hand side. I thought he impressed in his last game. And then Kai Havertz still up front. We have Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. We have David Datro Fofana, but they will not use those players. You can bet your bottom dollar he's still not going to go without an out striker, and it's Kai Havertz, the silky German, who's going to do fuck all again up front, and then we wonder why we don't score goals. But that's my predicted 11 for this team against Southampton. So predictions for this game, and whilst I absolutely do feel that we have the capabilities to balls this up monumentally, I will give us the benefit of the doubt and ride on the fact that we appear to at least to be creating more and more these days. Whether or not we can finally convert those issues remains to be seen. I am going to go for a 2-1 victory in favour of Chelsea this time, a reverse to the reverse fixture back in August. It won't be pretty. It never is. But I think that we might just get a result in the end. Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. Again, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content on the channel. Until tomorrow, my name is Harry, and as always, up the Chelsea and peace. Can we just get a win now, please? Fuck.